Extraordinary comments, really, and to some extent, you know, if you've been following what Donald Trump has been saying, and particularly saying on his social media channel, Truth Social, some of them will seem familiar, but the nature of them and the stream of quite negative comments about the economic relationship between the UK and the US and the diplomatic relationship is something that people are just trying here in Washington to digest, particularly from the UK delegation. So Rachel Reeves came out last night. She's here for the meeting of the International Monetary Fund. So basically, ministers from around the world, central bankers, they come here every 6 months and they talk about the state of the global economy. And, you know, really there could hardly be a more important time to have that conversation right now because of what's happening in Iran, the economic implications of it. But on top of that, question marks now about the UK and its trade deal with the US. It does have one of the better trade deals country around the world, although it's worth saying that the extent to which it is better than other countries around the world has actually narrowed quite a lot because many of Donald Trump's tariffs have been cancelled by the Supreme Court. But even assuming that it were necessarily going to be compromised is an enormous question, given that it was such a symbolic moment for the UK government and indeed for the US. It was that first big trade deal. And then on top of that, those other question marks from the US president about the UK's energy policy, about the North Sea, will raise some big question marks with the UK. It's worth just saying the Treasury Secretary, so he's the finance minister of the US, has just been talking this morning about what the impact of what's happening in Iran is likely to be for the US economy as well as for the global economy. Let's just hear a few words from him. He's called Scott Bessent, and he was saying this just a moment earlier.
This quarter will be slower than it was. I think that first quarter was moving along well, and we've heard the president say that one of the reasons he believed that he was able to prosecute this war now, and other than he believed it was the right time to prevent Iran from having a long-term nuclear weapon, and to decapitate the regime, was that the economy was in such good shape. This conflict is going to end, that I don't know whether it's 3 days or 3 weeks.
The striking thing about this, though, I mean, you have finance ministers like Scott Bessent from the US, like Rachel Reeves here in Washington talking, but as well as those ministers, you've got people from India, from Pakistan, from Sri Lanka, from island nations around the world, particularly in Asia, who have been affected profoundly by the rise in the oil price and the gas price in recent weeks. For them, it is much more of a dent than for places even like the UK, when we're feeling it in the UK, obviously. And so what's interesting about this moment is many of those ministers essentially